Sure.
All right.
And we are live. All right. Hey, everybody. I am here today. Oh, by the way, I'm Seth Apter. I am here today with a very special guest. And that special guest is none other than KP. So we're going to say hello to everybody, and then KP's going to do a little bit of a semi-informal introduction so that the one or two people in the entire world who may not know her will know her.
That's right.
But I'm
That's
thrilled that
right.
she's here, and I'm excited that you guys are all joining me. I want to also welcome Janine, who is here. She is my team,
Janine.
and she's here behind the scenes. She's going to put in links, answer questions, talk about food, and no doubt make everybody feel even better than they already feel.
Talk
So
about
we got
food.
we got a double demo today. And we'll do the formal introduction of what we're demoing, etc. But I'm just gonna, welcome you all. Let me ask you, KP, because I didn't know. Do you have access to the comments?
No, I don't
Okay,
think so.
so I am going to read
Let's
you
try.
questions and comments. You don't have to worry about that. I'll take care of that. And
Okay.
I'm going to just send you all the love from everybody.
Thank you.
So I'm
I'll
going to
take
say good morning to Diane. Janine welcomes you. Rhonda, hey Seth and KP. Jim Smith, hey Seth and KP.
them.
Ginger, hello. Um, Beth and KP. I'm thinking I'm Beth today. That's okay. I've been called other names. Carol, Seth, and everyone. Janet, Nancy, welcome everybody. If you are here, let us know you're here. Leave a comment. Let us know where you're from. If you're new to me, thank you for joining me. That means that KP and her mega talent and amazing company brought you. And if you're new to KP, you are in for a treat. Because let me tell you, this is the person you want to hang out with. And hopefully we actually make some stuff and we don't just talk.
Hey, we did good last time. We
We
did
did.
good.
We did.
We
Now, I
did
think we're here
again.
for about an hour, but you know me and you.
I know.
Might be till tomorrow. Uh,
Um, I want to say something real fast if you don't mind if I interrupt. Anybody who orders at Art Foamies any of Seth's today, any of Seth's, okay? Before it was a $50. This is just for the live or for today. You're gonna get that freebie. We're doing the freebie offer again.
Woohoo!
So because we so many people were asking, like we had quite a few people email and be like, can I still get the freebie? And so we made up a whole bunch.
I love that. So you guys, you all heard that, right? This is really sweet. If you order anything from,
Your
I guess, my
collection.
collection in the pop-up shop, Janine will give you information. She already put the link in. You get a freebie. And so that means that those of you, I keep reading people saying, I got them almost all. There's only a couple left. Today would be the day.
Yeah, grab them, grab them.
Yeah.
So,
And if you got no clue of what we're talking about, like what is the start phone thing and what is a pop-up and who is this KP? Um, well, we're going to let you know now. So why don't you just launch into telling us about you and our
um,
friends?
well, I'll turn the camera around so I can show some art foamies because now this you've seen me, KP, and now I just have to figure out how to turn the camera around.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Oops,
All
wait,
right.
I have a lighting issue, so give me just 1 second. I have to fix the light so it won't do
Sure.
that.
I actually really love that's very atmospheric, but probably not so good for a
Yeah, it's
demo.
not, and it'll start moving in a minute if I keep it on.
Okay. I want to welcome, there's so many people here. I want to welcome Sherry and Ashley and Kyle and Tetta and Judah. And I want to welcome Kelly, uh, Linda, Jana, Christina, Lisa, Janet and Cindy, Sherry and everyone else, Loretta and everyone else that I already welcomed. I want to welcome you again. Thank you all for being here.
Yes, gosh, thank you so much. Taking time out of your day to come and well, lots of people want to come see Seth, I know, but they're like,
I
who the heck
think
is
I
that
think
Kristen
I
Powers
think they're
fake?
here for you on the
So
foamy.
art foamies. Now I don't have my whole tray of all of Seth's right here, but I'm pretty sure that probably most of you have seen, if not have them in your hot little hands. So I pulled out some new ones here. Got myself some fresh foamies. And again, this is the freebie, which is a sort of a portion, but a reverse of broke missing keys. Oh my gosh. Of course, I don't have all the names right here.
That's
Um,
okay. People will buy them because they love them.
so I hope that everybody has tried at least art foamies, but if you haven't, what they are is they are a sort of printing block or stamp, aka stamp, that is a little bit different from most stamps that you probably know. It's made out of a thick, dense foam, and it does hold detail really, really well. The wonderful thing about art foamies, that's really different from, say, a rubber stamp, is that you really have a lot more freedom with your sizes. Okay, you can really work large. It's great for, lots of mixed media art. The other thing that I love, love, love about them is they do hold or, work really with any media, any paint, any ink, any crayon. You can use them with pan pastel. I mean, the list is just pretty much endless. The only thing I really haven't worked with myself is oil paints, and I can't really say that I ever will. Okay, so a couple things I know. Oh, Seth's putting them all out, and look how beautiful they just, it is such a gorgeous collection. And somebody, I want to speak to this really quickly because somebody on one of your posts said, oh, I wasn't expecting them to be so large. So we do list all the sizes, or there should, if you ever run across a listing on our site that does not have the size, please let us know, because we do definitely try to list all the sizes. Um, but we do make them a little bit larger for various reasons. For one, not only, well, especially in this case, like, we did not want to in any way compete with any of Seth's other products. So which, if you just make a completely different size, then it's not competition, it's more like complementary, right? So that's so a lot, and we do get that comment sometimes, like, oh, they're a little bit bigger than I expected. But again, remember that they're great for mixed media art. So you can really use these in your bigger, I mean, you can use them small too. Look, I use them all the time for small pieces, but they are really nice for large journal pages and canvases and things like that. Also, t-shirt, they're just such mixed media tools, because a lot of people also use them for home decor. You can stamp them really easily on walls or flat surfaces like that. So let me take a breath. And obviously, if there's any questions, please let me know.
There
Seth,
are a few. There are a
oh,
few questions already.
I'll stop. I'll take a breath and a drink, and
Okay.
you can read me the questions and we'll go.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you answer, even though I know the answers. Um, uh, one person wants to know if they work with inks or just paint.
Yes, they work with inks, and we're going to show you right now. I'm so excited by this because look what I just got. And this is all Seth's fault. I never really had, I have to be honest, I didn't ever really have a desire that, I mean, not to say I've never sprayed any, sprays, but I never had the desire for a lot of colors, or didn't think I needed these. Okay. But lo and behold, after, seeing a few things that Seth did with them, and hearing the feedback on our last live, I went on and I did give myself a little splurge and got myself here's another 6 colors. And so we are going to definitely work with these today. So that's one kind of ink. You also can use your inks all sorts of inks. Okay. It can be your whatever Ranger inks, your Seth inks, your paper artsy inks, whatever you got. You all know, maybe, I hope that you know. And Seth actually carries some of the Moonlight Duos in his shop. So you can use your inks straight from your pads or your reinkers. Um, and then we have a product called Stamp and Scrap Buddies. And I do have to say, I love these for applying different mediums to my art foamies or really to anything. I use these with stencils. I use them even with rubber stamp, whatever. You can use them with different mediums too, but definitely with inks. And also this is kind of crazy, but you can use these with your sticks, your Derwent sticks, and I'll show you how to do that.
Sweet. So
So
yes, you can use anything.
yeah, let's
I
do
got,
real
I got one
fast.
more question.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to ask before I forget.
Yep.
Um, Someone wants to know, will there be smaller words available?
So no, not from Seth, unless at some point, maybe next year, Seth wants to do another pop-up or something like that. But not, not in this collection. We do offer some smaller words in what we call art foamy poetry sets. I don't know if you can see this, but these are some words from art foamies that are, just kind of a typewriter font that are smaller. However, we're here with Seth's amazing
Oh,
words.
no, 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 no. You can share and show anything and everything.
Well, I love that, but I just wanted to say with these words, you have a lot, right? Don't you have some with paper artsy that are similar but smaller?
Oh, I have thousands of stamp
Yes. So
words, but they're not
yes,
foamies.
right, but like I said, they
They
complement,
coordinate.
coordinate. So it's kind of nice if you had the bigger and the smaller. Um, and again, too, I just will say that even though these look a little bit larger, keep in mind if you really just want to stamp the word, it's not that big, right? You can ink just the word up without the other portion of the stamp. And then it, of course, will appear smaller.
Sure, like in the word create, you can just ink the word eat,
Yeah.
and that would be really
Agree.
small. I'm going to just make mention of one thing for those of you who aren't aware of this, although I think most of you are. I am doing a pop-up with Art Foamies. So this is my one collection right now with Art Foamies. It's a pop-up. It is all these items you're going to see today are only being sold at Art Foamies. Janine will put in the link in the pop-up shop at the end of January, on January 31st. These will literally go away. And despite some requests, they're probably not coming back. So if you do want them, now is the time. And at least for the short term, there will be no more foamies from me. So get them while you can.
Yes, pop-ups, so a lot of people have asked, and I would like to just speak to this for a second. People have asked, like, why, like, because, Seth is not the only person that's only done a pop-up and doesn't license. So every artist has the option, or, every artist that we invite has option of licensing with us or just creating sort of a one-time special deal. And the artists have different various reasons for wanting one or the other, right? So we are just so excited to have some of Seth's imagery because, these are going to, once you get them, you'll be able to use them again and again and again. And, we, of course, do hope maybe Seth will come back next year, do another pop-up or something like that. But he has, his reasons for not wanting to necessarily license, and we are great with that. We love the pop-ups. It kind of makes it special. It makes it different. So, um, that's why we do that. And yes, they will on midnight Central Time. So you will have all the way through the 31st at midnight Central to shop. And then at that time, they will be gone and they will not be reproduced anymore. If Seth does do another pop-up, it's not going to be with these images. Okay. So
That is correct.
I do want to show you something really quickly. This is a brand new art foamy. This doesn't happen very often, but and we usually catch it. Sometimes we won't though. Okay. We do try. This is kind of like a little bit of a, I guess, what's the word, quality control thing. Every now and then you'll get, and this is just good to know for anybody who has any art foamies, okay? So if you stamp this, like if I ink this all up and I stamp it, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to get a little edge right here. Okay, can you see that? And the reason why is because it didn't cut exactly correct to the edge. Nothing is wrong with this. You can just take a scissors and trim that off right up to the edge and it will be fine. You're not going to hurt your foamy. It's not going to do anything as long as you're not cutting into the image. Okay, usually I do take a smaller pair of scissors, but I just wanted to mention that because sometimes, we do get a lot of questions and people asking, and I've had people actually send me little pictures saying that it's not printing right, but that's all literally all that you need to do. And that's just because that little edge was up over. So just trim it off and then you should be good to go. So I hope everybody had a chance to see how it just inked up, and I didn't make it perfect, but I just inked up the word and that little line underneath and was able to get that word without all the the little border, which, of course, I think the border is what makes it extra cool, but
Well, that's the great thing. You can use the border. And in fact, you can use any part of it. And you can use the edges, the
yeah,
size of these beefy stamps to get some marks as well.
yeah. Like if you just wanted to, and that's again a beautiful thing. So if you just hold it and you just give it a little press, just don't press the whole thing down. You can get this as a really cool little piece. It starts stamping off. You can just load it back up. And so that's with ink, and that's Moonlight Duo ink, which this is a brand that I started when I had Rubber Moon, and it's called Moonlight Duo Tint and Hue pads, and this is the reinkers for it. Okay, oh, that looks so good, Seth, already. And Seth had asked me before we came live to show and talk a little bit about Moonlight Duos and um, why they have the two sides. So here's one that is well loved and used, as you can see. And you can see how grungy this pad was white. So and here's a brand new one. I'm going to open this for you. This is my Space Moss Green and my Moonlight White.
So
And
this is the same one.
yeah,
Clean.
so it looks, yeah, you can't tell the color but, very well. But so the reason I designed these, okay, when you mix white with the color, you get a tint. If you mix black with the color, you get a shade, right? So these are tint and hue pads. So your hue is your color and your tint is your white. Now, of course, if you want to stamp in white, you can use your white pad, to, let me get a piece of dark paper here.
I asked KP to explain the duos so that people understood why and that it was okay for your white side to actually get all inky and messy.
Yes, so it is. So because you're really just creating, so eventually if you're using your pads this way, your white is going to end up almost like a pastel tint of your hue. But you can definitely clean this up. Now it's never going to be as pristine as when it's fresh, of course, but you can take a dry paper towel, just, now mine's real, it is really grungy and it's pretty old, but you can do this. Obviously, you're going to go, up and down. You don't want to go side to side. And then you just want to take your inker. And I have my white. And really the whole reason for this, yes, sometimes I do use my white side as more just of a white, white ink, but I also created them so that I could get gradients and pastels basically, but make my own. And I do really like I love the colors, I love the ink, and I do like the way these work. I think they're really convenient. You get a lot more I don't know, just a lot more versatility, I think. Now I will, this being said, I won't, try to steer you down the wrong path. They're not always the best with the foamies in the pad form because it's small. And, I designed these when I had my rubber stamp company. Um, and stamps generally are smaller. However, I mean, they still can work, and I will, I do use them still, even with some of the bigger stamps. Although, if you want it to be all one color, like you want it all to be the space moss, then you're just going to have to, turn your stamp and just use that little side to get it inked. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'll
Yeah,
stamp that.
it's not that hard.
No. Well, if they're real huge, it's kind of a pain, but it's,
For those of you who are just joining us, this is Seth Apter. I'm with KP, who is the brains behind Art Filmies. She's sharing some techniques to use with art films in general, and she's demoing them with her inks as well as my pop-up art foamies. There was a question that came in, which was answered 1,000 times by people. Can you use acrylic paint with this? And
yeah.
then can you also speak to just the notion of if you use acrylic paint, are you supposed to clean, not
Yes.
clean?
So a couple of things, speaking to cleaning of different, mediums and inks and things like that. If you use watercolor or inks like this, it is not as imperative that you clean them. Okay. You can kind of leave them dirty. Now, that being said, if I go and I want to stamp, I just ink this up in green ink. If I go and I want to do pink, it's going to make mud, right? So of course you're going to want to clean them in between. If you're going to want to switch colors, um, however, it won't harm them. It's not going to hurt them to leave them dirty. But if you use acrylics or gesso or something that is, going to dry crusty and hard, then yes, you want to clean them. And the reason why is because they will dry crusty and hard, and then your foam will not print the same. Okay. And yeah, it can be cleaned off once it's dry and crusty. And I'll tell you a couple tips for cleaning them. If you let acrylic paint dry, you would want to spray it with rubbing alcohol. Okay, again, I'm just going to repeat myself. This is if you let acrylic paint dry on your art foamies, you can spray it with a little rubbing alcohol, let it set and get soft, and then you can gently wipe it away. I also use, I know this is crazy, but this is actually Murphy's oil soap in this little squeeze bottle. So a lot of times I'll do the alcohol treatment, and then you can tell I've let acrylic crust on them before, right? So, and then I'll put a little Murphy's oil soap also, and that will also help it soften, because one of the things is that if acrylic is crusted on these and you go to try to scrape it and scrub it, it's gonna tear the foam. Okay. Your foam really won't, and even if you do clean it with alcohol and Murphy's oil soap and it's fine, you can get it pretty good, but a lot of times it's still just not the same kind of surface. Okay. So just make sure if you're working with acrylic and you're, really into your process and whatever, it starts to dry, at least keep like a little pan or something of water and just lay it face down in your water. It's not gonna, it can soak in there for a while, and or a wet or damp paper towel to keep the paint, wet until you can wash it. All right. And a light washing with a tiny bit of dish soap or even just a little, warm water is great. And then just pat them dry. Okay. And they'll last you a good long life.
All right, that's important. You need to know that because you do want them to last forever in a day.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You really, I mean, there's things that you can do, to harm them because they're not indestructible.
Like
Um,
scissors.
yes, or heat tools.
Ooh,
So
stay away from heat tools.
yeah, you don't want to heat them. You can a little bit. Now I have heated them, to try to even make impressions in the solid side. But And so anyway, I don't know if you can see that nice gradient. Do you see that? That's using
Yes,
the
that's beautiful. That's using the duos.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
So again, and so I mean, people say like I don't know. There, I think there's sort of a little bit of a hang up getting that white so dirty. But
Yes.
please know that I also have a pure white pad. Like it's just a solid white. If you want yes, if you want your white to stay pristine, that's the pad for you.
Can
This
anybody guess if my white is pristine?
well,
No.
well, it's semi.
I divide crafters into two categories. There are the ones, there are some, and I know you're out there in both categories, people. There are the people who have 50 different little foam applicators because each one has to go with a different color distress ink. And then there are those people who have one sponge and everything is quote unquote contaminated, which some people think is a bad word, but I personally don't.
Same here.
I,
I think we're
I'm
we're in
good
the
with
same club. We're in the
contamination.
same club. I love that. So all right, let me pull some stuff out here. Any other questions? Did I answer everything okay so far?
Let's see. I think um, there's several people who are leaving tips and stuff, which is great. Thank you all. Nancy says, stop laughing at my 50 pads. Um, and no, I think I covered all the questions.
Okay,
I'm
good.
behind the scenes kind of just playing here. So I have my distress watercolor pencils. Something about working with KP takes me away from my traditional muted dull tones and brings out the color in me. Those of you who didn't see my creation when I did my last live with her on our foamies, somehow I made something that looks like this.
I
And
love
she
it.
made something that looks like me.
Like, yes, I was all into the earthy tones.
Yes. And it's happening again. You're, yep. So I don't know. She has the power, people. Don't resist. Go to her site, buy one of
It's the,
everything, and you'll be better off.
it's the rainbow spreader in me.
One of the things I just want to make a comment about my own designs. I am a big believer in spaces and gaps. So with most of the elements that you see here, there's going to be, there's like little X's in there. There's these lines in here in the line under the story. There is all these spaces in the circular ones. I am a full believer in the notion of when you make with mixed media, you don't fully cover anything. So those gaps there are on purpose. You can either use them to have the background show through, or when you're working on white, don't just leave it. See, the word story has those little white strips going through it. Like, take advantage. Add more is more, my friends. You know my motto. So go for it and utilize those spaces to uh, take these stamps, which are my designs, and in a way make them your very own.
Yes, I
All right,
love,
I'm
I,
done now.
I do. Well, it's one reason why uh, oh, now I completely lost my train of thought in watching I was watching you and listening to you and had words and now they're gone.
Oh,
I
that
don't know.
happens to all of us.
And I don't even know
I'm
what I was looking for.
sure.
I was looking for something. Oh,
Well, when you find it, let us know.
well, I've been having a lot of fun. Oh, I know. I don't know how many of you saw the last live stream when Seth and I were together, but I had sort of I guess it was kind of like an accordion. It was started to be an accordion book, which like this, okay, but
Ooh,
it wasn't full. Like I had it folded really bad, so I ended up cutting it all apart, rounding the corners, and I had. So I don't know to Seth if you know this, but I've been really this past like year doing a lot of stuff with Rolodex art, making stuff for Rolodexes, the old
okay.
vintage ones. So I'm able to
Oh,
just, and
man.
I have a big, like the 5x8. So all these are going to be backdrops for my Rolodexes.
I think that's phenomenal.
So here's, I'll pull it out and just show it to you. It's really super fun.
That's really a clever idea. And I am like you in the sense that I sometimes like to make something a little bit larger and then cut it up.
Yeah,
So,
well, I didn't on purpose do that, but see, this is it. And this will be, I haven't really put it together yet. As you can see, everything's just kind of still shoved in here, but
pretty incredible. And that's the biggest
it's,
Rolodex I've seen in my life.
yes, I know,
Can
isn't
I
it?
make that mention? I mean, seriously, like put your hand over it just flat so I
What?
can kind of
Oh, this?
over the Rolodex so we can get a sense of the size.
So, oh, it's 5 by 8
That's
page.
massive.
Yeah. So I love this thing and I've been making art and just shoving it in, but I'm going to go through and um, I don't know, make little categories and stuff. It's one of my projects for this year, like we were talking about. Um, anyway, so I have a lot of pages started.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, super fun. Right. Oh, I like this one. Even though I did it sideways, it's still pretty cool.
Oh, sideways is great. Upside down, all good. In my book, it's all good. One of the things that I'm kind of getting caught up in this whole color thing. So I'm not even focused anymore on showing art foamies. But one of the ways I absolutely love to use art foamies, and I'm going to make the transition. I'm going to try to make the transition. I'm going to keep building this up. Um, and is to take out one of my other favorite things to use, and that's the jelly plate.
Ooh, yeah, so good with the art foamies.
So good. So I'm going to demo that, speak a little bit, but you're more than welcome to talk more about whatever you like and go in any
I'm gonna
direction you
so
like.
I'm gonna kind of go along with you right now. You're gonna use your gel plate, and I'm gonna use your imprint pad. This is Seth's Cairns imprint pad, and you can kind of use it in a similar way. Obviously, it works great with a gel plate too, or you can use it in a similar way that you would use a gel plate. And I'm gonna use some of Seth's inks now.
Ooh,
So we're gonna get spritz a little here.
okay. And I'm using acrylic paint. We're going to cover every medium and
Known to
undertone.
Okay, so I got what is this? This is Morning Mist and Underwater and we'll try Blue Moon. Ooh, I didn't even open my Blue Moon yet. What?
What?
I'm
All
ashamed.
right. I'll keep you in the club. Don't worry.
Okay. All right, here we go.
So you're spraying.
I'm spraying and I'm just gonna take some of the stuff I already have some texture on and I'm just going to
So you're making layers.
have no idea how it's gonna look because I haven't tried the sprays on it yet. Pretty cool. I love those colors.
Ooh. Thank you for using the sprays. I find that
Oh,
they're
it's
really
been
fun.
fine.
Anybody who hasn't used them, just know that they are not permanent. They're water soluble. They're just like a distress ink in the sense that they're dye inks. So just be aware of that. Now you see, I'm just going to talk you through. I have two colors on the jelly plate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, um, let's take the same pad, the imprint pad that KP is working with, and I am just going to press it in here to pull out some of the design. At the same time, I'm going to have another piece of paper next to me so that not only am I going to get the design in there, but I'm going to see if I can get a little imprint of this here. Now, if I were doing it right, what would I need to do right now with this so that this doesn't dry?
Okay, so just do you have a baby wipe or a wet paper towel? Or you
Sure,
could,
just lay it over it.
yeah, just lay it over. Or, sometimes I even will spray it with a little water if, but that's it. And then just set it till you can wash it thorough, a little bit better.
Okay, so you know that this will be the only time I actually do that because I'm in public.
Yeah, I
I will just let
know.
my
I
phone
understand.
sticky. So this ends up being the positive print, which I was able to get. And then this is the negative because I picked it
Yes.
up off of
Oh, that is great.
plate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'm going to get, going to get, we're having technical difficulties. I can't find what I'm looking for.
Uh-oh. I hate
See,
when
I'm
that
going to get some
happens.
cardstock that has black on it. And I'm going to pull a print. I'm going to use the heavy cream and roll over this. This is pretty thick. It's probably going to bleed a little bit because I'm impatient and I'm not letting it dry. But that's how I work. So I don't mind if it pulls up some of the color and is imperfect because that's what I'm all about. And then let's utilize what's on the brayer. Let's build up an extra layer here. And then let's pull this print. I'm using 49 in market paper here.
Ooh.
And I'm going to let this set for a bit so that the paint, both layers stick to the paper, and then I'll pull it up. And I love what you're doing there. And tell me about, because I see that a lot. I see that silhouette and I need that silhouette. And I think other people might. Could you just tell us whose that is and how they get it?
Oh, yes, I do have a few. It's me, KP, and I have a few different figure stamps. Some like, oh, I don't know all the names, like it'll say figure it out or like goddess within. I have some that are just like that are have a couple names like charity. You'll see them if you just go on art foamies and go under KP. Different like solid figures, and I use them a lot. Just with I mean, I have to admit, I love, especially. I mean, I've been using them for a long time because I've had them for a long time, but I really, really do love them with your imagery. They are just so
Thank
cool.
you.
The
Well, I was
way,
going to say the opposite, that I love the figures with mine because, yeah, obviously my stuff is abstract, it's background, it's layers. When you add one single stamp with that figure, you get a complete work of art. It's really impressive.
yeah, it's really, I don't know. I love utilizing them together. And this is really a fun thing. I think that you would love this, and anybody who follows will appreciate this because it's just great with all the backgroundy stuff. Now we also, I'm sure you can find these online, lots of places. We do have them at Art Foamies. They're a Lyra graphite stick. So it looks like this. So water soluble sticks of any kind are also great with art foamies, and I'll show you how and what I mean. Okay, so let me grab a different figure here, a bit
You guys
smaller.
can see the pole. Yeah,
Yes.
you
Oof.
the shadow effect. And then, of course, my favorite part has nothing to do with my art foamy. It has to do with the leftover color that was there on the plate
Mm-hmm.
to begin with.
But that underlayer would be gorgeous, even just with like what we're doing right now. Because so you can take your art foamy, your dry, clean art foamy, okay? And this obviously will work on, on Seth's image. This will work on anything. I'll do let's do one of Seth's little backgrounds too. Oh, let's just go ahead and do it with, right here, hold on. I want to find a different one.
So would it work with the Marabou art crayons?
Yes.
Right. We got to go with that.
Also with Derwent sticks. So I'll show you a couple of things, okay? So let's do, just going to show a couple colors. And mine are really dirty, sorry, but I got a red and a yellow Derwent ink tent stick right here. And then again, this is the Lyra graphite stick, and this is a number 9, so it's going to be very dark. I'm going to take my clean, dry, well, it's not that clean, but just pretend it is, okay? And I'm going to spray it with water. This is just a little spritzer bottle. And then I'm going to take my Lyra graphite stick, and I'm going to rub it. Now, of course, I could rub the whole thing and then I'd get a nice dark image, but I'm just going around the outline. And let's see, I'll do it on here. Okay, and I only did the line up to about right here. So, I mean,
Okay.
obviously, if I have a long piece of paper, I can go all the way down, but I'm going to spritz it again just in case if it got a little dry.
Okay, so spritz, I'm following you. Spritz
Yeah, I'm just
first,
spritzing. Spritz.
add color.
Well, the reason you spritz
Then
first is because it won't transfer if it's not a little bit wet, right? So
got it.
then spritz, and then you may, especially if you're talking or whatever, you might want to spritz it again.
Talking, I would never be talking.
And ta-da.
Wow.
So, and then, of course, that just gives you sort of this little faded outline, but then it's nice because all your background colors kind of, or background pattern is showing through. And then, of course, you could take whatever, if you wanted even just a little bit more graphite.
So you're working it.
Yeah, then you can work it.
I love that because you can then wet it and have it activate.
Yes, because remember that graphite line will activate with water.
Yes.
Okay, so now this is another fun thing. If you take those marabou crayons or your Derwent sticks or whatever, and you take your scrap or stamp buddy, and I want to explain the difference between scrap and stamp buddies. A scrap buddy, a stamp buddy is this, and it comes in 3 sizes. We make these as well.
Is that kind
Um,
of foamy?
Well, so this is called a stamp buddy. And what it is, it's a foam on a rigid surface. It's a piece of different kind of foam. And you use these to put paint or ink or whatever. And you can use them sort of like a little pad, right? So you have your ink or paint or whatever on here, and you can do it this way. Now they come in 3 sizes if you do want to make an actual pad. And I'm using obviously air quotes. It's not really a pad, but like you know, uh, well, it is. It's a pad and it has ink or paint on it. Now, if you do put acrylic in these, again, your acrylic will dry and crust these and make them unusable. However, I do use and that's one reason why I created the scrap buddies instead, is because I found that and so when we make these, we have lots of little end pieces. That's why when you order scrap buddies, they are all imperfect. Okay. They're scraps. So you'll get like I think 4 or sometimes 5 pieces in your order. They're all different. Some can be long and skinny and some can be little, whatever. They're just pieces, but they're great. You can even see I use this one for ink. So these are great. You can put your paint in them, your acrylic or whatever, or even watercolor, and you can take it like this. Okay. If it's watercolor or ink, you can save these in a baggie with the name of the color and then utilize them again and again. Okay. If they're acrylic, again, you can either basically rinse them out when you're right away when you're done and use them until they will eventually break down, or you can, use them and throw them away after a few uses. A lot of times I'll
Okay, so call me um visual. I need to see you do it. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so this one
I
I'm
can't
wetting.
even. Okay.
This one I'm wetting right now with a little water, and I'm taking my sticks, my Derwents, and look at this. You can do it this way and make yourself even like a little rainbow pad with different colors. That's kind of fun.
Ooh. Can you just make that and sell those like that with the ink in them?
Sure. Well, I mean, I can't, but somebody can. But so there you have a little rainbow pad. Again, you can use it again and again. It's good. This one already had a little ink like it. Um, that's with, making yourself a little uh sort of ink pad with your Derwents, but of course you don't have to. You can do your Derwents right
But
on
but
the way you
but
just did.
show me what you do with that now.
Yeah, here I'll do this.
The stamp buddy.
And then you can lots of things like lots of times I'll even do stuff like this.
Okay.
Okay. Or you can take it again right to your stamp or your art foamy.
So it's a multi-use applicator.
Yes. It's a
Okay.
buddy.
It's
See,
my buddy.
there's that. And I don't know how I ended up with those colors, but
Oh my
so
God, I love those colors. I mean, what you're making, like just when you just
Rastafarian.
rub the applicator under the words inspire, I am now inspired. So
So
it
you're
is
so easy, Seth.
it's officially been done.
So also, right? So now if I want this to keep it even, I could write the colors or what, if I want to on there, put it in a baggie, save it. Um, but again, you can do stuff like this too. Like here's another scrap buddy. You want a little extra fine watercolor on there. I have a little quinacridone gold here. Now look at this. So you got this loaded up, right? Now, what can I do with that? You spritz it again with a little water. And then what have you got? You got watercolor right on here. And remember, that is water soluble. So if I want to squish it or move it a little bit, and this is what I love too, is because you really can make all these images still your own, even though they're Seth and they are Seth's aesthetic. Did I say that right? But you can really do so much to make it your own story.
Well, yeah, I'm all about making it your own, and so I really love that. That is one of the benefits of the water soluble materials is that you get your own hand in there, and you're able to move things around in such a way that you've created something that no one else will
Yeah.
create.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jim Smith mentions that he washes and cleans his scrap buddies so they last a long time.
Oh, yes, good. Yeah. And so a lot of times I will have my little jar, my little water jar, and I do take them and just see, I'll reuse this one again and again. But if I'm kind of done, then I'll just dump it right in there.
Okay, we
Let
can
it
dump.
go till I can get, and wash them out. The one thing is, I'm gonna just mention this because you don't know, but like we artists do not want to get acrylic paint down our sinks. So you want to
No,
make
we
sure
don't.
that if you're soaking stuff that has acrylic paint in it, that you are disposing of it out, not down your sink, not down your drain, right? I have a little like a sand kind of box outside my studio, in my yard, and I dump all my yucky water in there. And then so
Um, I would love to say that I dumped mine off my 29th floor window, but
but you don't. Well, you try to wipe away. Like so if
oh,
you're in a
100%.
situation like that, you just try to wipe away as much as you can and just
Correct.
get a lot of sludge down your pipes.
One of the things I see you're doing and that I'm doing as well, which I love, is just the idea of layering. The notion that these particular designs, like all of mine, are meant to be used in bits and pieces, under, over, and the layering is where your style will absolutely come out more than anybody else's. And
Yes.
you're more than welcome to use them as they are. But I do think that the layering is a really beautiful way to make them your own. And so I've used, I think this is my fourth.
Oh, I love that. I missed what you did around the create word. Is that watercolor or
The
how it has?
initial larger circles from are um, foamy. That was with the Marabou art crayons.
Okay, and it did like
Smaller dots from
love
this
that.
one is from my ink sprays. And then the what I'm doing currently at the edges, because I love a border, I'm using your Total Eclipse Black. Everybody who's watched me for the last year knows that this is my go-to ink now, particularly the the white and the black. But I love the others as well. I love the shades that you've selected because they are not, I'm not a primary color person. And so these kinds of tones that
Yes.
you put in your
Thank you.
collection, I just think are phenomenally gorgeous.
Oh, thank
If
you so
you're
much.
interested in these, I don't I don't have them on my website right now. And I do you have them on yours because of
I
the
think, well, so I am so thank you for asking. We do have some on our website now. I want to let everybody know, we are going to be rebranding, repackaging. However, they're going to be the same. It's the same inks. I'm trying to, well, one thing is because when I started them, I had Rubber Moon. So a lot of it still says like Rubber Moon on there somewhere. So it just all needs to be redone. So anything that we do have in stock. We're selling out, and then I will be um, coming back out with them. I'm in process right now. And I hate that there's going to be a little bit of a lack. I wish I could have set it up a little bit better to where I wasn't going to have kind of a hole in between, but I can't help it. So
something
um,
tells me everybody will wait
yeah,
for you.
they'll be coming back out. And again, like I said, it's the same inks. I'm gonna have the same colors. Well, I'll probably add two new colors, but all
Ooh,
the same ones.
do we get a scoop or is that asking too much?
No, well, I have, you can when I do it. They just sent me samples, and I'm gonna go through and just
Okay,
decide what two new ones I want to add. And because also it's gonna have a bearing on exactly when they're gonna be coming out,
right.
be more summery colors or what. So as soon as I know,
Okay, in other
you'll
words,
be
we're not getting a scoop. We can move on.
the second person to
Okay.
know, or maybe the third. I don't know.
So I love the versatility of these. I will be honest and tell everybody. I think most people know this, even if they don't know this, because you've never seen me do it. I don't use acrylic paint with my rubber stamps because my rubber stamps, my designs, but all the ones that I like, they're just so fine and I don't clean and I certainly never clean up right away. So my
Right.
concern is using a stamp like this. Let me just find one. Something like this that has all these little fine gaps that is
Mm-hmm.
going to fill really quickly. So the beauty for me of these foamies is that I can now use all my acrylic paints with stamps. And that has just opened up a world, both because it's all my colors that I love to use, but also, and maybe even more so, acrylic paint is permanent. And so sometimes I just want layer after layer after layer of permanent. And it gives me so many more options. So I thank you for that.
Ooh.
If you do, because that's really, it's been incredibly helpful. I also really, 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 really wish I had that a silhouette there because the one you're using right now, I think would just be perfect
Well, I'll send you
right
one,
there.
Seth. And also, I still am gonna I'm gonna still ask you because I want to show this really quick and see if you ever. This is the thing that I actually. Let's see. I thought it was right here, but give me a second.
All right, talk amongst yourselves.
I know I have it here.
Let's see. Whoops. I just came out of my own video. So I lost the comments here. Let me see if I can get that back.
Well, I had my imprint pad here that remember I said when I first started begging you to design art foamies and I sent you an imprint pad
Yes.
and I still want you to use that on something. I've got to find it because I want to ask everybody if they don't think that that reminds them of you. It reminded me of you.
Oh, okay. Well, you look through your stuff. In the meantime, we're all going to sit and watch a movie on Netflix,
I'm,
and we'll go from there.
I saved it out specifically for this, but now I don't know. It must have grown legs and walked away.
Well, that's what happens, right?
Oh, yes. So
I
annoying.
am
Sorry.
drawn. We do have just a few more minutes. I am drawn back to the gel plate. And one thing that I haven't tried too much of is using the sprays on the gel plate and then using the stamp to pull off. So I'm going to just go with that. And we're just going to see what happens. And I'm always up for sharing my sprays in a way that don't work so that they look like, they're not worth buying. That was supposed to be a joke. Whoops. Um,
Just trying to.
I'm layering a whole bunch of colors here, sort of slowly. Or not. Let's see. I'm looking for underwater.
All right, we'll get that movie back up on Netflix then.
Okay. Touche. All right, let's just throw in some Blue Moon since that was the one you didn't open.
Oh, I opened it now, and that's what I
Okay.
used it partially. Oof.
All right, so I'm going to use,
Oh, that gray. Look at
we're
that.
going to get very linear here. I'm going to use these two. This is a plus and a minus of the same design, which is really cool when you're making layers, but I'm going to use them. I'm going to press in. I don't know how the design will be. It will be perfectly imperfect. I'm going to leave a bar in between each one. This is really, it's almost like math or science here. So it's sort of freaking me out.
Blinding me with science.
All right, we got that. And now I am going to pull the print and we'll see. But for me, this is what art is. It's about experimenting. It's about finding things that work, finding things that don't work. And every time you do something, you have a potential for discovery. Yeah, that looks pretty cool, I think.
Love that. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and that would be even cooler if I had a background. So what I am going to do with this notion of layering is I am going to use the negative over the positive and the positive over the negative, if that
Yes.
makes sense.
Do it.
Um, Judah says stamp off on another paper. I'm not sure. Maybe she's thinking all this excess here. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, we got some excess. So thank you for that. I mean, wasting this would have been a disaster. I mean, seriously. All right, so always remember that you can use these in all different directions as well. But for this, I want to take the negative, which is the imprint pad, and it's not going to really be matched up, but we'll see. I'm going to use the Tint and Hue Duo. This one is Nebula Rust. All you need to have is the word rust in it, and I will buy the product. I mean, seriously, like if
No,
I went to
it
the
didn't.
grocery store and it
It
said,
wasn't on purpose. I didn't know.
oh, now you do. All right, let's just see. Maybe I'll try to line it up a bit. Just see what happens. Yeah, it didn't quite work the way I wanted to, but I absolutely love it. So I'm going to do the same thing with whatever's left over in terms of that ink. Oh, yeah. Filling it in with that color. That is a delicious color.
And what is that like what's that pinky magenta? Oh, is
That's
that?
yours.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
It's
you should
great.
try it.
I
It's
will.
made by this great person named KP. Let's use the opposite. And again, this is where I could do some tinting with the white pad. And I'm going to start mixing that a bit. I'm going to put this in the center. And I'm thinking I'm thinking I might have just designed um, something for my third release of fabric. This is
Oh,
looking,
that is beautiful. And those colors. Oof.
yeah, I feel like I've taken us all to autumn. And then let's just finish off with a third layer because three is what makes sense in art. So I'm
Three's
just
a
spraying the
charm.
foamies with some colors.
You know, I was having fun when I got a blue thumb.
Ha! And I'm also placing it in the opposite direction and building up this almost sense of plaid. I like that.
I do too. I love that.
All right, note to self, save this long enough so that it maybe could become fabric. All right, so we're going to be running out of time, shockingly.
Yeah.
So I want to ask those of you who are here, and there's a good number of you still here. Do you have any questions for either of us? I'm going to bring my face back into the zone here, and KP can just keep playing because I know she's just into it. I could tell. Uh, And Rhoda says skyscrapers. Yeah, it's like a lot of my art. They almost look like buildings and windows and
Yes,
what I
which
see
I
and what
love.
I create often.
Love that too.
So I'm going to just throw out there a review for those of you who came late. So I am Seth. This is KP.
Hi.
We are here together celebrating my pop-up shop, which is a series of art foamies that are available for purchase only through January 31st. Janine can put the link. And once the pop-up shop is closed, you know, chances are these will never exist again, except in your creative hands. So if you're interested in that, Janine just put the link in. You can look, and there is a freebie. If you buy anything today from my pop-up shop, you will get this one freebie, which was only offered
The first weekend,
the
I think,
first weekend
wasn't
if
it?
you spent
Or the
$50 or more.
yeah. So we're
So
just
Judah, that's the free stamp offer. Anything from my pop-up shop.
because I couldn't handle the crying anymore. No, I'm kidding.
That's we have some really wonderful people watching who are giving us such sweet feedback. So I want to share it with you, KP. So since you don't see it, just to say thank you to both for bringing so much to the table. This was so helpful, having fun playing along. That was a great session, both informational and fun. You are a dynamic duo. So fun to see you working side by side. Thank you, Janice.
Thank you so much.
The link, yes. So Nancy, the link, Janine, maybe you can even pop it in there one more time. And you can also find it just by going to Art Foamies.
Yep, at the top of the page, it's says Seth Apter's pop-up shop.
And from my homepage on SethApter.com, the link is there as well. And hey, Pam, welcome. And Janine, thank you, Janine, made mention as she does because she is my team. Love those, love those, love those. That I do have a Facebook community if you're not familiar with it. And she left the link. You can join. Jim says, my most wonderful friends and special people you both are. Thank you, Jim. I feel the same about you.
Yes. Mwah.
Thank you both for giving us such exciting step-by-step demos. Diane, totally love this demo. I stamped on tissue. Excellent.
Oh,
Loved it.
yes. With
Bev,
art,
two of my
please.
favorite creators together at last. Dynamic duo. Yeah, it was years in the making. It
Did
really
she,
was.
I need to know, did she use her art foamies on the tissue? Because I haven't really done that.
All right, so we're going to ask you a question. Diane, you stamped on tissue. Did you use the art filmies? We'll wait to hear. And I just have to say that I am deeply, madly in love with what you have on your table right now.
Thank you so much. We've been doing a lot of house stuff because I've been working too with Megan Quinlan, and she's she's done some art foamy pop-ups, and we're doing some collabs together. And so this is she did a house shape stencil, and we've been doing stuff with a lot of house shapes. And so I am gonna this was one of the things I really, really wanted to get done, but I was not able to. So please be watching along my page, because I will be doing a whole house book with Seth's images as the backgrounds, because
I will be
I love
watching.
the way this looks. And then because I
I
want to
will,
do people, I'm not going to do cutesy people for this one, because I don't know, some people that follow me might have seen the cutesy people. I'm going to do more like those figures like I showed for these.
okay,
So
so the
uh,
edgy people.
yes, edgy people.
And Diane said, yes, art film is on tissue, and it was really great.
Oh, I want to see that. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. I also want to make mention that although I didn't talk to Janine about this in advance, so we can't do it the magic way we normally do it, but Janine and I, and Janine, I mean that, I will help this time. We're going to go through and just look at everybody who's left a comment, and I'm just going to give these two pieces away. I'm showing you under the doc cam, like you can see. I'm going to give these two pieces away to two viewers today. We'll mail them to you. So I'll just message you on Facebook. Please think about checking your messages later tonight if you're interested, because some of you might not be friends with me on Facebook, and then it goes to that sort of category on Messenger that you never find until it's a year later. And then you see somebody ask you a question like, I love your art. We want to put you in the MoMA, and you didn't see it, so you lost your chance. So please check.
Yeah, I miss those messages all the time.
Yes.
Uh-uh.
Foamies forever. I agree with you, Janet. So KP, can I entice you somehow to put your beautiful mug back on the
Yeah,
screen?
sorry.
And,
Yeah,
and then we'll
I gotta find my
sign off.
mouse. It's buried now.
As Jeannie says, we'll spin the wheel and find some lucky winners. Ah, there you are. All right,
I
show
want to thank
everybody
you
your
so,
shirt.
so much.
What does your shirt say?
Oh, it says art film. We make fun. Art
We make
filming.
fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
Art
All
filming
right,
fun.
so KP, a million times
Thank
thank you
you
for
so much.
for
Mwah.
inviting me to make these, and then for being my partner in crime here. And who knows, you guys, we may just
Oh,
feel the need to
no.
pop in one more time before the end of January.
And also everybody needs to bug Seth to come back next year. Like in 20, where are we in 24 now, right? Oh my
It's
God.
true. We
So in
are.
2025, you have to come back.
All right, everybody start bugging me. And
But
let me
I'm
just,
my knees are sore from begging so long. No, I'm kidding.
no, this isn't good. Let me just say that if you're just joining us now, you have the option of watching on my site, but this will also be provided to KP. And I think you want to upload it on your YouTube
Yeah,
as
it'll
well.
be on our Art Foamies USA YouTube channel. Probably not till I don't think it'll get done maybe tonight, but maybe tonight or tomorrow at the latest.
Well, she should know that she has to wait for me to upload it to her. So
Oh, then yeah.
soon,
So
we'll say
tomorrow or
soon.
the next day, or I don't know when the
Yeah,
latest is
or the
then.
end of January.
It'll
All right, so
get
thank you
there
all. And there's
eventually.
Art Foamies YouTube if you want to click on the link and see all the videos for all the other Art Foamies. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Thanks
Katie.
for having me,
Talk
Seth.
soon.
See you
Bye,
soon.
gang.
Bye. Stay makey, everyone.
Yeah.